Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Raid Shadow Legends, and we're joined by Tactical Alliance Gaming here. If you haven't seen the part 1 of this video, make sure you go to his channel. We are going to put the link in the description below, and I'll pin it in a comment. But today we're talking our favorite epic and legendary champions. So Tactical, thanks for joining me, and thanks for having me on your stream. Or, not stream, YouTube.
Well, appreciate you having me, and yeah, I'm having a good time with it. A lot of fun.
Yeah, so his video, we talked about the first 7 factions, and now we're going to roll into orcs. So again, go check out the first half if you haven't already, and we're going to keep rolling now. So we're talking about our favorite champions and why. We're going to go into a little bit of details that can help point you in the right direction if there's someone you've been keeping in your vault, maybe. But we're only going over the champions we actually have. So now we are on to orcs. So this is a easy one for me. I have a warlord. Is there any other answer? Nope. So I do love me a warlord. It's warlord. It's all about the A3 and arena. It's just absolutely game changing. If you don't have a warlord, Basher is a baby warlord. Don't be sleeping on him. He can be used in that role. Not quite as good as warlord, obviously, but such a good champion. I use him as part of my main seer comp when I'm doing Doom Tower because it just adds a layer of control in there and it gives me a couple buffs. So he's just absolutely fantastic. Such a beast.
Yeah, and I don't have warlords, so this is a tough one. I would say Grow Hack, but I need to play with him some more after they changed him. I haven't built, but I'm gonna go Robar. Actually, it's tough because of Kreela. Kreela's an awesome champion, but I'm gonna go Robar. The control that this dude can throw out is ridiculous. Put him in Relentless and just let him start stunning. If he stuns, he gets an extra turn. I mean, he can keep an entire team stunned up for an entire fight. It's insane. But he does have a decreased defense, big version on his A2. And he does, AoE, and he does more damage if there's fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, stun. And he can hit pretty good. But that control that he brings to the table is absolutely ridiculous.
Nice. Yeah, he is a great champion that seems fun to play with that I think is probably a little bit underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
Not one I have. Forgot to play with him yet. I just think of always the Hell Hades video when it was in Relentless Gear before they nerfed it. And it just goes again and again and again. It's like 26 times or something crazy. It's pretty funny.
I got a kick out of that one. That's actually what made me build him.
Yeah, why not? It sounds fun to me too. All right, epic orcs. Well, I don't know that I can say anything else except Seer either. I know it's thank you, Captain Obvious, but my God, was she game changing. I got her at a point where I was down in the game. I feel like every time you get not really feeling the game. Maybe I will quit it soon or something. I don't know. I gotta move on eventually, right? They throw something at you that make you love the game again, and for that was Seer for me. I got Seer on my alt account when I was just randomly pulling shards for an account I don't even play. And then I was like, screw it. Fuck it, I gotta try it on my account too. Why not? And sure enough, I got Seer on my main account, and that was, I love that she's a support champion, but she's a dang damage dealer, gosh darn it. So... She is just
insane.
So game-changing. I don't even think I need to describe what she does here, but I absolutely love her for obvious reasons. She's Seer. She makes all your runs faster for Doom Tower and dungeons. She's absolutely game-changing. It was taking I had runs that were taking 40 minutes, but working in Doom Tower higher up the first iteration. That was before I had Seer. That was not fun.
Yeah, I actually pulled her just a couple of months ago. Finally pulled her. Her and Cardiel I pulled within 8 shards. But yeah, I agree. She's crazy. I'm gonna go with something that's a little bit a little bit easier to get. I'm gonna go with Zargala. Zargala, phenomenal decreased defense champion. She's about this A3 right here. 3-hitter, all enemies. 50% chance of a decreased defense after the first hit. Her A2, yeah, she kills the target. She triggers her A3 again. Just both hit great. I mean, she's a good champ. She is a great decreased defense champion. She does have the weekend on her A1, so she can be used in good grief, in a lot of
Don't
content.
die.
Try not to, but she can be used in a lot of content. She is a solid champion.
All right, yeah, Zargala for me is someone that I've kind of, I guess, never taken advantage of. She's still at level 50. I only had her in like a day's set because I don't even know why. Just because I was putting stuff on people for Faction Wars early on, and I was like, oh, at least a little bit of control doesn't hurt, which, to be fair, it doesn't. So I just used her in Faction Wars early, and I probably should get her actually to 60 to have I feel like my Faction War team can actually be a little bit slow sometimes. Like I would decrease defense wouldn't hurt. I don't use it with my Seer. It's really helpful with Seer to pair her with some decreased defense. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I'm kind of neglecting her. All right, Demon Spawn. Oh my god. So I mean, there's so many great champions in this faction. There's so many I wish I had. I do not have a Prince Kymor or a Sissia or a Candrafon. Sissia, however people say her. I looked it up. It's supposedly Sissia. But yeah, she is my favorite looking champion in the game. I don't have her. I want her. But I do have a pretty lovely pink and purple Duchess, and I can't do myself any I would be lying if I didn't say she's my favorite champion, one of the most game-changing champions on my account. That is, I know once you pull a Duchess, it's just like she just makes everything so much easier. She's definitely one of those.
You're gonna make me cry.
I know. She places the shield on her A1 onto someone. But it's the A2, the A3. I mean, so good, and damage mitigation. As a passive is super helpful, and at least her speed aura is all battles. Such a great revive champion. Valing everyone is just so helpful.
I don't have a Duchess. Been chasing her, no luck.
Yeah.
But I do have Lord Shazar.
Oh yeah, I just got him.
He is absolutely insane. I pulled him pretty early on. He was my arena guy. He has a phenomenal speed aura for arena at 32%.
The best in the game.
Bigger than an Arbiter.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, everybody laughs, bomb champions. Well, with some of the new bosses coming into Doom Tower, they're viable again. But he hits so hard with his bombs. If he crits on that A3, I mean, it drops the cooldown down to 1 turn on those things. He's got a self buff on his A2 with the increased attack, which for him, that attack, if you get that crit rate up and you stack that attack, get him up around the 4K mark, those bombs hit freaking hard. So he self buffs, gets the increased attack and the block debuffs, and then gets another turn. So then you can crack off that A3. It's just insane. He's got the 3-hitter on his A1, and it's so good.
Yeah, except to be honest, if you haven't done higher up Doom Tower with Bommel, hard bombs are not viable, sadly. It's just not. It's what they wanted us to think, but it really ended up not being the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't.
Unfortunately. Yeah, you won't. It's not really useful once you get to hard Doom Tower. You won't use bombs at all. Sadly.
Figures.
I know, they made us think, freezing bombs are the new thing. No, not really, honestly. Unfortunately.
He's still good in arena, though.
Yeah.
And in other content, which is nice,
Alright, let's see. We got Demon Spawn epics. So I probably... there's so many good ones here, too.
There are.
We got Achok, Allure, Umbral, Padma. I want to say... Allure is helpful so much, but I can't decide between her and Padma. I probably have to say Allure, just because her A1, it's all about that decreased turn meter on bosses. It's just so helpful. She can be a little bit hard to use when you're dealing with waves because it's only a 3-hit that's random, so it doesn't really necessarily land on all the people you want it to, although her A2 is helpful because it attacks enemies 2 times and places a sleep on them, so that can be good crowd control. So depending on things Psycho, she's really helpful for dungeons in general. I do use her in Doom Tower a little bit as well. I've seen people use 2 Allures against Dark Fae. And yeah, she freaking looks amazing. Let's be honest. She's one of the coolest looking champions.
She is, and she's easy to build too. I mean,
Yeah, you don't
survivability,
have to.
speed, crit
Yeah, it's
rate,
not
and
hard.
let her go. I don't have mine booked. I don't even have masteries on her. And she
And no
does the
books on
job.
mine either.
Yeah, and and she does the job so well, even without masteries or anything else. I think she could probably be better if I put masteries on her, but it's not one of those things that I use her in Fire Knight 25, everything. It's just I don't need masteries on her for her to do her job.
Nope.
It's great. It's just a matter of getting her through waves, like you said. I'm gonna go. I've got to go with Umbral. Um, I pulled her early game. She was my arena control champion for a long time until
Mhm.
I got my Torment. But she's got the A1. So. I mean, it's okay. It can hit pretty decent. Single hitter damage increases as her HP goes down, which is beneficial because her HP is going to be weighed down a lot.
Yep. Because of
The
this.
A2.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
how she lives. She likes being
Hmm.
almost dead. I guess. I don't know. Um, she does have an 80% chance of placing a block debuff for 3 turns on an AoE with her A2, but she's all about her A3 with that Undying Evil. AoE, 80% chance of placing a provoke for 2 turns. She places Unkillable on herself for 2 turns, places a block active skills debuff on herself for 5 turns, and it can't be resisted or blocked and cannot be removed. But that A3 can hit freaking hard.
Hmm.
I mean, use her for control, get that provoke on there. But I mean, I've seen cases where she's just taking out the enemy team, which is great, or your nuker comes in for cleanup. But she's a great champion. She's good in a lot of areas too. Just make sure you've got her with a reviver.
Definitely. Well, I mean, she has that unkillable on herself for a reason. You're just gonna need some healing to get her back up to par, at least. But it used to be great pairing her with Cythalia because she could cleanse that active skill debuff. But they nerfed that, so that can no longer be the case, unfortunately. But she's still really great. It was a bit of a hit on her value as far as especially pairing in something like Arena. Her and Cythalia together were amazing, but she's still really cool, and I definitely still use her. I mean, she's for the Valk waves. We got block buffs, and we got provokes, and I actually use mine in a stun set because there are 2 AoEs here, so that's a little bit more valuable than just a traditional frost set on a provoke champion. So
Yep.
stun set's probably the way to go if you have some good stun gear for her. And she's defense based, so she stays alive decently at least.
Yeah. That definitely helps.
Alright, we got Undead Horde here. Well, mine's obvious. I have 2 of them. Siffy!
Yeah.
I can't even. Again, I would be doing myself a disservice and a lie if I didn't say Siffy was my favorite Undead Horde champion. She's so freaking good. I sleep on her A1 is so broken. She either sleeps or heals, so you're winning either way. A2, of course, perfect anti-torment in arena. She's got an amazing base speed. She goes first. You make her faster than your arbiter. Put up that block debuffs right away, then Torment can't do anything to you. And then, of course, her A3 reviving with a full turn meter, which is amazing, just to help bring your Arbiter back and get yourself back in the game if that's how you're pairing for Arena, for example. But of course, I use her in so many different areas. For the sake of Arena, I do have one Siffy built fast, and then one Siffy is also not crazy fast, but in Swift Parry gear and like 318 or 320 speed, something like that still, which is awesome in Swift Parry gear for me. I'm happy with that.
The elusive Siffy.
I know. This guy behind my head here, Nethril. Oh, I have him too. He's amazing. Is he your answer? No, wait. Who's your answer?
Not.
Oh,
I use him for clan boss. He hits great. I mean, he's got some control. He's got poisons. He's a good champ, but I got to go with the OG Bad L.
okay. I don't have him. Oh,
I've got 3 of him. Phenomenal. I mean, he's so good. Clan boss. I mean, you can put him almost anywhere. I mean, he's got the heal on himself and all allies by 20%. On that AoE with his A1, he's got the continuous heal on his A2. He's got the poisons on his A2. He's got all as inflict 20% more damage against targets under poison. You're talking 20% more damage on clan boss. That's per champion. That's pretty solid. And he's got the crit rate in all battles by 25%. So if you use him as a lead, with certain teams, you build him a little bit with 20, bring that crit rate down a little bit, pump a little bit more into crit damage. He's phenomenal.
And of course, he can solo Ice Golem, right? Yep. Still can, right? I don't know, but can he? Had you used any of that kind of crazy comps like that, or?
I haven't even tried any crazy comps like that.
Ice Golem. Did I say God? I mean Dragon.
Dragon, yeah.
Dragon.
I've never built him for that. I've got him. I've got Tomb Lord. So I got both champions that can solo 20 and 25. Yeah. I just haven't really messed with building them that way. I really need to do it.
It's fun. Then you could farm up some food overnight while you're grinding.
Yeah.
All right, we got epics. So this is a great set of epics here too. I know there's. I think I have to go with my OG epic though here in Gorgorob. Gorgorob was my arbiter before I had an arbiter. He kind of did the same job. Increase attack paired great with ultimate Gaelic, so you could do the AoE HP burn on the spider and help get through those higher levels of spider dungeon. Of course, he revives and heals as well. And he has a chance of removing a buff on his A1, which definitely comes in useful as well if you actually can get a little bit of accuracy on him. But yeah, and a speed aura, an arena of 23. So he was my support champ before I got Arby and Siffy and Duchess.
Rub it in.
Yep.
On that list, I've got Arby. All right. Man, I just noticed there are no void epics for this faction.
What the heck?
I just noticed that.
Plarium's drunk. They forgot.
Apparently. Lucky people. I've got... this is tough. I'm going to have to go with Dark Elhain. I use her for Scarab Boss in a Destroy set. She is good against Tormund in Arena with her passive. Fills her turn meter with 25%. Instantly activates her Death's Majesty whenever this champion or an ally receives a freeze, which would be her A2 is her Death's Majesty, for anybody that doesn't know, which is a 50% increase attack buff on herself for 2 turns. Then attacks all enemies, 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed for 2 turns, and it freaking hits. It can hit pretty good. And then on her A1, she does have decreased target's max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted, which is why I use her against Scarab Boss in a Destroy set for a little bit of extra decreased max HP, help get that shield down a little bit quicker.
Nice. Yeah, she definitely hits hard. She's someone I need to play with more. All right, we got Dark Elves. So this is a fun one because there's so much. I mean, Lydia is so game changing when you get her too. She's another one of those there's those certain benchmark champions that you're just your account's never going to be the same. And man, she makes Ice Golem a lot faster. I have 4 Zavias, so I'm tempted to say her, but I don't even know where to. I don't know if I can choose between Lydia and Zavia. Probably Lydia. I have to go Lydia. I mean, decreased defense and weaken on that A2 along with strength and increased speed is just Seer's best friend. Literally. And then of course her A1 has a chance of placing fear and increase the duration of poison sensitivity, which she places on her A3, along with block buffs, block active skills. She's such a beast. Her passive denying enemy revive attempts there is so great for Ice Golem and Arena. It's psych, can't come back up. I always forget that when I face her in Arena. I just don't even think about it, and I always go in with Revive Champions. I'm like, gosh darn it, not again.
Oh, Lydia. I might get her one day. I've got so many viewers during my stream that give me a hard time because I don't have her. But, this is a hard faction, really, because there's so many good legendaries here. With Vizier, just ridiculous with Clan Boss, Zavia, Foley, Ghostborn. Even Visix now is pretty good.
Yeah.
Then you got Ray in there. It's just, but I got to go Ghostborn. He was the reason I never built another decreased defense champion. I pulled him early on. Just crazy, crazy. Can't be resisted. It's just, insane. Just get that A3 booked out. I mean,
It only takes 3
3
books.
books.
Remember those days? I miss those
Yeah,
days.
then you look at them now, and I was looking at them this
They
morning, actually. I burned off like 11 Lego books, and I looked at a couple of new ones. I'm like, there's like 30 books here. I was like, oh, this is insane. But get that A3 booked out. If you get lucky, all 3 land in that A3. You've got the decreased defense right there, 100%, can't be resisted. Just, so nice. And that thing freaking hits. He can hit pretty hard, too, which is nice. I mean, he's not just there to debuff, but he also has the decreased defense on his A1 on a single target. So he's good. He is a great champion.
He's definitely someone that I didn't have him until later game, and I haven't played him at all yet. I just got him to 60 because I know he needs to be on my list of building people for my 3v3 teams, which I'm doing another collab for next week. We're going to work on my 3v3 finally, and finally get myself a little bit more tuned and figured out, because I still have a lot of champions that I've just ignored, and sadly he's one of them.
I got to do 3v3 at some point. I haven't even...
Oh, you haven't? Really?
I did it just long enough to get Drexstar and then called it a day.
Oh. It's just so good for clan versus clan points that I like to stay up there. And I like to have the gold bazaar open for collecting that sacred shard sometimes when I feel like it, or the 5 to 6 star accessory, which those refresh accessories are so good, so they're worth it. Alright, we got epics now though. So the obvious would be Madame Saris, but I think I've got to go. You guys know me, I love my Loria. My girl Loria, I have a video on her. She is one of my favorite champions. She was just super amazing for me in Arena early on because of this A2. She's kind of the anti-Skull Crown. She can remove debuffs and put up block debuff, or put up block buffs if I could talk. She kind of prevents Skull Crown from popping back up there with that unkillable. So, and then her AoE on her A2 is a freeze, and that's a block revive as well. So, I mean, her multipliers could be a little bit better. I know she doesn't hit quite as hard as we wish she did, but she's only an epic at the end of the day, and she hits hard, and I don't even have her built that hard. And I have her in pretty mediocre gear, to be honest, and I still absolutely love playing her. If I didn't have some other freeze champions now, I'm finally getting my Gurgo going, so she's fallen back on the radar a little bit there, but I love her. And her A1 is super helpful too, a decreased speed, decreased defense, or heal reduction debuff. All of a sudden I can't talk. I'll get back. I even have her as a skin in Stream Raiders. I have a skin for her too.
What?
In Stream Raiders, my head skin that you have that goes on your little units, it's Loria's head. It's
really?
Loria. Yep, that's my Stream Raiders head skin.
I don't know squat about Stream Raiders. Mine's exactly however they give it to me. I used her a ton early game. I pulled her pretty early on, and I mean, she was everything. Every team I ran, she was in. Great champion. I'm gonna go with the obvious though. You know where I'm going. Madame Saris. Awesome. As far as arena goes, she is all about that A3. She's got the debuff or the buff strip plus the decreased attack and decreased defense. She does have a block debuffs on her A2 with a chance of stealing a random buff, plus a true fear for one turn on enemies who do have buffs stolen. Her A1, 20% chance of placing a fear. And obviously, that chance does increase the more debuffs they're under. But she's crazy. I had 3. I fed 2. I'm like, oh, no. That was my entire 3v3 team. But phenomenal champion. I mean, she's everything that a legendary should be. As far as somebody to fill this role. I mean, up at the top above where it says support is purple, says epic. No, that in reality should be gold, say legendary, because
I
that's
agree. I
exactly what she
agree.
is.
Oh man. Yeah, I love her. I'm getting my second one going for the sake of 3v3 actually, so that'll be worth it. All right, we're on to another one of my favorite categories because, ironically, even though this was the bane of my existence or most people's existence at first with completing faction wars, I have the right combination of champions, and Mr. Hegemon sure helps make those Valk waves pretty easy. Just don't let them do their skills in the first place with that lovely A2 that he is absolutely known for, of course, and his passive going first. Well, you know how that goes for arena. So we love our Hegemon. Everyone wants a Hegemon or two. I'd love two. I'd love a control one and a damage one, personally, but I'm not going to get too greedy. I've got two Siffies. I can't complain for much else.
I'd like
But man,
just one hit.
yep, exactly. Most people just be happy with one Hedgie. So, yeah, he's so much fun to play with. I'm looking forward to rebuilding mine. Actually, mine's a mishmash of a build that's, you can tell it's super, super, super old. Like well over a year old. I built him, and it's pretty terrible.
This one's tough because I am lacking in legendaries in this category. There are only three that I have: Versolf, Mother Sibel, and Tomb Lord.
I
Um,
love Tomb Lord.
I would go with Tomb Lord, but just I've got to go Mother Sibel.
Our
Um,
fusion champ, yeah.
our fusion, I do. I finished a fusion super early on. Um, I did a guide on her, and I turned in my absolute best Spider 25 run with her and the team as nothing more than a sacrificial lamb. Her entire purpose in life on that team is to die and be revived. I haven't, I played with her geared. I liked her better without it. But that passive fully heals the ally with the lowest HP whenever she's killed. Heals all allies by 20% of their max HP and gives them 15% turn meter whenever she's revived. So right there, killer reviver, killer reviver. It's a nice cycle. It's easy to deal with, especially when Spider if you don't have any gear on her. The hard part was I was lacking in one slot, so I had to bring Herndig in, who typically dies first, and then her. Uh, but it worked. I still got my best Spider 25 team with her. I want to play with her in some other areas as well. She does have a revive on death on her A2 and an increased defense on all allies. She does have an HP swap, which you really want to avoid if you're going to use her as a sacrificial lamb. You want her to go down as quickly as possible.
You could always turn it off with AI settings now. That makes things like that
You
easy.
can, and that's exactly what I did. After I figured it out, I read it and it didn't click, and then I run her through and she's just HP swapping. I'm like, this ain't gonna work. Um, and then
That's
her
a fun
A1.
strategy. I like that.
It worked. Because it kept. Oh shoot, who was it? Mordecai. Mordecai was always the lowest HP, so she kept him up, and it worked. And then she does have the decreased speed on her A1. And a turn meter, by 15%. So she's not a horrible champion. I know when the fusion was going on, a lot of us were talking about how bad she was.
Yeah.
And it's not that she's bad. She's just very niche. It takes a very specific comp to really make her shine. But if you can find that comp, she's really good.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't started using mine at all yet either. She's on the bench like everybody else. Oh man. All right, let's see. We got the epics. There's so many good. We got Frank. We got Doom Priest, Sepulcher. Oh, Skull Crown. There's so many Richter. This is a great, great list here. I think this is hard. I mean, Frank is such a good carry, Miscreated Monster, but I got him late game, so he still helps me, but he's not my widely used champion, at least on my main account. I'm gonna actually have to go Doom Priest, just because her support and Doom Tower, Faction Wars, when I beat Faction Wars with no healing or reviving except for Doom Priest passive. That's it. No other healing, no other, well, technically Miscreated Monster, I guess, has continuous heals on the one, but I guess that's it. Like, I didn't have a proper heal. I didn't have any revive. Didn't die at all. She was good enough. And that cleansing is just so helpful every single time she goes, just removing a debuff. It's such a great ability. And she doesn't need much either. Like, she doesn't need to be booked. She doesn't need to be, like, have accuracy. She's pretty easy to deal with as far as her stats go. I have Doom Priest and Relentless Gear is pretty ideal. Let's keep going.
Yeah, she's I use her mostly in Doom Tower. Absolutely worth building. I this is tough. I mean, this is a tough faction to figure out an epic. Skull Crown. Everybody knows Skull Crown. I didn't pull her until a couple of months ago. Super late game. Same thing.
Yeah, I
with,
still haven't built one.
Record Draft. I've got one built. I've got two more just kind of hanging out that I haven't done anything with. Still to this day, have never pulled a miscreated monster. Almost 2 years in.
Oh my god, he's so good.
Still never pulled him, but I'm gonna go with Sinacia.
She's also great for that faction.
She is.
Yeah.
I pulled her early game. That A3 of hers equalizes the HP of all allies. HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP, then heals the target ally by 10% of their max HP. Crazy. Crazy. And then, a lot of people, they mostly know her for that A1 paired with Skull Crown on a blender comp. Attacks all enemies, extra hit on enemies with less than 50% HP. So you get Skull Crown a little bit faster, cracks that HP. She gets the extra hit on enemies with more than 50%. Pairs phenomenal with Sinacia. But then you also, you bring in, she's just, insane. She's got the heal on the A2. She's got puts the target skills on cooldown. She's a beast. She is a beast. I had her lucky enough. I got her super early game, and she carried me. She carried me for a while.
Yeah, she was one I was always wanting to get when I was struggling to finish that faction war at first. And I kept hoping I'd pull her and hoping I'd pull her. Then eventually I just did it without her. Because I didn't try that hard. I was like, there's no way I can do this with only the people I had. Like, I didn't think Doom Priest and what little buffs we get from Frank was enough. Like, I didn't think it was enough, and it was. I always wanted her. And then I got her after I beat the faction. So I got her and Rector after I beat Faction Wars. So that was like, I'm never going to touch them, am I? Nope, not yet. Oh, man. So we're on to dwarves. This is a hard one for me because, I love Trunda, but I got Mountain King first. And I love Mountain King. Like, he was just so much fun to use. But he's kind of taken a bit of a backseat. I still use him, though. I do need to re-gear mine in a shield set still. That's been a goal. But finally got my Trunda in a Savage set, so she's been fun. Of course, we all know her for that A3 that goes twice. If you have low accuracy, you want to build your Trunda with low accuracy, so take advantage of this going twice. Her A2 can hit really hard on one enemy, then a little bit extra on others. And of course, her A1... it's just a 2-hitter, but still, she hits hard, period. She's just a great champion. I forget she even has a passive, to be honest. Because I don't even think about her for her passive, not gonna lie. But it's all about that A3 in Arena and how much she smacks. And of course, you can use her for wave clearing, doing dungeons or keeps and all that fun stuff as well.
I forget she even exists.
You're like, I still don't have one. I forget her passive exists, you forget she exists.
Her and Sam are the only two I don't have for this faction as far as legendaries go.
Wow.
Mountain King, yeah, I agree. I pulled him super early on, but just like you, I need to go back through and redo a shield set. Tormund, I really only use Tormund in Arena and Faction Wars, but Brogni, I use that dude everywhere. Pairing with like Krisk, pairing with Krisk, it's on. So I got to go Brogni. I've got to go Brogni, Fusion Champion. Crazy. The A1, he does have a 45% chance of an HP burn for 2 turns. The A2, AoE, 75% chance of removing 1 random buff from all enemies, and a 75% chance of removing 1 random debuff from all allies, and increases the value of shield buffs on all allies by 30% of the damage inflicted.
So good.
Damage is based on attacks. You load that up on him. He's got a block debuffs on his A3, increase attack. Also places a shield on all allies for 2 turns equal to 30% of this champion's max HP, and it cannot be removed. Now you pair him with a Krisk, and with that A2 paired with Krisk just gets kind of ridiculous. Especially if you build him to hit, load him up on HP, load up his damage, and just good grief.
Yeah, I'm never gonna. I mean, this is the one time I'm like, please, can I pull a fusion champion, please? Because I messed up my fusion, didn't get him, and it's like one of my biggest regrets. It's not. First, my biggest regret was not doing the Rotos fusion. Then I started doing every fusion after that. And then this one I missed. And like the 2 best fusions out of all the ones that have happened that I could have done are the ones I've missed. So my fusion journey is a little bit sad.
Mine too, actually. It wasn't until I think Brogni. I think Brogni was one of the first fusions I actually did, other than like Rat.
Oh wow. Oh, all right. We're on to epic dwarves here. So this is a hard. I have to. There's so many good champions. I finally got my Geomancer going, and he is wonderful. But I think I'm gonna go with Ragnar. He's one of the few other. I have 2 videos. I need to do more. He's one of the people I have videos on. As far as champion spotlights go, he's just so good. His A3 decreased defense and weaken on a single target, and increased attack on himself. So he is super great as a spider decreased defense champion, because if you're pairing that with AoE HP burn, because he's just putting decreased defense and weaken on the spider, just like Fane. And of course, there's always that small chance it won't land, even though it's 100%. There's always that small 3% chance. It is really annoying, which is why I have other people as backups. But yeah, not as a backup for that position. I mean, I have a nuker set up too, probably like you do. But then I have my HP burn champion as like the cleanup in case that doesn't fall through. That doesn't happen. Then my HP burn person cleans up for me. But he's really great. He was also a big key in me finishing the Dwarf Faction Wars because of this. Having decrease in defense on the boss helps you kill a hell of a lot faster. It also puts shields. And the A1 on the leech. The leech is the big thing. I mean, it's like having everyone in lifesteal gear. Pretty darn close anyway. And so you put everyone with War Master Masteries. I changed all my people to War Master Masteries for completing this faction when I was stuck. And sure enough, it worked, and it was a big part in being able to heal without. I did have one reviver, and I had Molly at the time, and one what's her name? Rearguard Sergeant as support. She's really great support for that faction as well. But that extra heal with the leech is super helpful.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to go Melga. Got to go with my girl Melga Steel Girdle. Again, I mean, I've got all but 2 Legos, Trunda and Samar from this faction. So Faction Wars wasn't too bad, but 21 was kind of a pain until I put Melga in the mix.
Yeah.
Great champion. She's got the revive with 20% HP and turn meter, and places a shield on the revived allies for 2 turns. Her A2, again, she's got a shield equal to 20% of her HP for 2 turns and a continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. Then she's got a 50% chance of removing a random debuff from an ally, but it can't remove one from her, which, so-so. But she is as far as a support, I mean, she is just crazy. She is good. She's an HP champion, but she's still more support than anything else. And she's good at it.
Definitely. I got her after I beat Faction Wars as well. I got all the people that I was hoping to get to complete that faction after I beat that faction, just like my Night Rev, same story. But she was great. Oh man. Oh yeah, I haven't used her at all yet, to be honest. She's one of mine. Alright, we gotta finish up with the new Shadowkin. So we got Ninja, Yoshi, and Genzen are my 3. I know we probably don't have too many. This is a new faction. Ninja, I used Genzen a little bit too, but not enough to really judge him. So I think I just have to say Ninja because he's so good. People that were lucky enough to get him with the login rewards probably don't realize how lucky they were for all the new accounts out there. A decreased defense on his A1 fills his turn meter. We have a HP burn, perfect veil. And yeah, when used against bosses, will instantly activate any HP burn debuffs, including HP burn placed by this skill. So he smacks. And then we got an AoE freeze as well, which is of course freeze is a wonderful crowd control debuff. And yeah, just he's so good. I definitely waited way too long to start playing with him, which I still barely use him, honestly. But I can tell his value just by even having him mediocrely built how good he is as a champion.
Yeah, I'll agree. I've only got Ninja and Yoshi from this faction, but I agree. I have to go with Ninja. I use him on my wave clear for Doom Tower. Just yeah, he's you pretty much hit it. He is really good, and mine's built like crap, but he still goes in. He does the job. Yeah, definitely a good champion. Definitely lucky. Anybody that got him, definitely count yourself lucky, because there's no more. You're not getting him again.
Yup. Oh man. All right, and I'm gonna go Taragi for my epic because I saw the second I saw his kit, I just knew he'd be perfect support. So he was actually the very first Shadowkin I built with Faction Wars in mind. His passive, when attacked, 50% chance of placing a poison debuff on the attacker, so that's nice against bosses especially. But his A3 here places a shield buff equal to 15% of this champion's max HP and ally protect on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places reflect damage and heal. Like, it's so good. Like, there's just so much going on in that kit there. And heals increases by 2.5% for each poison on the enemy as well. So his heals are going to be wonderful if he actually got some poison stacking. And regardless of people using him in the crazy clan boss comps that they have, I just wanted him for Faction Wars. As simple as it is, I just thought he'd be great for Faction Wars because he also has Provoke on the A2 and decrease attack for, again, helping especially against bosses on that A1. Solid champion. I think he'll be crucial for blasting through that faction.
I don't have him.
Oh, he's so good.
But I do have Genbo.
I just got him recently. Finally.
I've still got him at 50, but I have played with him a little bit. I have run him through some dungeons and stuff like that. Mr. Annie Swift Perry himself. Good champion. Even at 50, honestly, he's still good. He's got 2-hitter on a single target on his A1. Each hit steals any increased attack buffs. Also has a 30% chance of stealing 1 random buff on each hit. The buff steal cannot be resisted, or the increased attack buff steal can't be resisted. His A2, AoE, 80% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn, and it cannot be resisted on critical hits. So obviously building with 100% crit rate, which ideally we really want to do with pretty much everybody anyway.
He's going to hit hard.
Yeah, he's going to hit pretty good. 30% increased crit rate buff and 30% increased crit damage buff on himself for 3 turns. Then it grants an extra turn on his A3. That is on a 4-turn cooldown. Good champion. He's immune to decreased attack debuffs, and he will ignore unkillable when attacking under an increased attack buff. So, I mean, that right there, you're talking, you run into man-eaters in arena that somebody's built super fast, they throw that unkillable on. You just make sure you've got an increased attack buff on him and just go in and just wipe him out. Same thing, Skullcrown. He's crazy good. Even at 50, he's crazy good. I'm looking forward to getting him pumped up to 60. He does have an ally speed in arena by 20% for an aura. But, yeah, definitely a good champion. I'm looking forward to getting him up to 60 and really pushing him hard through some content and seeing exactly what he can do maxed out. Because even at 50, he's still good.
Yeah, I got to get him rolling. He's definitely going to be one of my main damage dealers, I think. Seems fun for that faction. Well, okay, I think that wraps it up. These videos are a little long, guys. Thank you for bearing with us if you made it to the end. It's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of factions, a lot of champions, and instead of just giving a 2-second, this one's cool, we want to at least explain why in case maybe you've been sleeping on them. And yeah, I think we'll wrap it there. I'm excited. Thank you for having me on yours, and thank you for coming on my YouTube channel here, Tactical.
Appreciate you having me. It was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Look forward to doing another comp again in the future at some point.
Yeah. And I'll make sure to have his links below so you could go watch the other half of this if you haven't already. And yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter which one you watch first, technically. It's just different factions, but lots of good info here. So whether you're new to the game or endgame, maybe we'll get something creative in your mind there that you hadn't thought about for someone and pull somebody out of the vault and play around. So, all right. Thank you for joining me, and thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.